Most men think that the key to keeping a woman is constant attention, chasing her, proving their worth over and over again. But what if I told you that's exactly why she starts pulling away? Think about the last time you felt someone slipping through your fingers. Maybe it was a relationship, an opportunity, or even a friend. The moment you sensed their absence, your mind couldn't stop fixating on them. That's because true value is only recognized in scarcity. Yet here's where most men fail. They overcompensate. They text more when they feel her getting distant. They try harder, become more available, thinking it will reassure her. But in reality, it does the opposite. It kills the mystery, crushes the attraction, and eliminates her fear of losing you. Now here's the secret most people never realize. The key to making her fear losing you isn't about playing games. It's about mastering yourself. The moment she senses that you are a man who values himself above all else, someone who cannot be controlled by emotions or validation, her entire perception of you changes. And this is where Stoicism becomes your greatest weapon. The ancient Stoics, men like Marcus Aurelius and Seneca, understood a fundamental truth. You must be the center of your own world. When you detach from external validation and master your emotions, you naturally trigger attraction, respect, and yes, her fear of losing you. So if you're tired of chasing, tired of uncertainty, and ready to become the kind of man who naturally commands attention, stick with me. Because in the next few minutes, I'm going to break down 6 powerful shifts that will rewire your mindset, flip the script, and make her see you in a way she never has before. But first, if you're ready to level up, hit that like button, subscribe, and let's dive in. Number 1, the power of distance. Why do we only miss something once it's gone? The answer is simple. Human nature is wired to take abundance for granted. Picture this. Jake was in a 2-year relationship. In the beginning, everything was electric. She was obsessed with him. But over time, he started making a fatal mistake. He stopped being a challenge. He was always available, always eager, always proving his love. Slowly, she started pulling away. The more distant she became, the harder he tried to bring her back. Until one day, she left. What Jake didn't realize was that his constant presence made him invisible. The more predictable he became, the less exciting he was. And here's the brutal truth. Attraction thrives in uncertainty. Now let's flip the script. Imagine if, instead of chasing, Jake took a step back. If he focused on his own growth, his own purpose. If he became a man who was so deeply committed to himself that she began to wonder, is he slipping away? This is where Stoicism comes in. The Stoics believed in one core principle: control what you can, detach from what you can't. When you stop reacting emotionally to her shifts in attention and instead maintain your own path, you become unpredictable. And unpredictability is intoxicating. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." The moment you embody this mindset, she starts seeing you differently. You're no longer the guy trying to win her over. You become the man she's afraid to lose. Try this for a week. Pull back, not in a manipulative way, but in a way that focuses on you. Hit the gym, work on your craft, be busy, watch what happens. Because when you become scarce, you become valuable. And if this resonates with you, drop a mindset shift in the comments. Number 2, the emotional control advantage. Most men let their emotions run the show, and that's exactly why they lose. Picture this. You text her. She doesn't reply for hours. Your mind starts racing. Did I say something wrong? Is she losing interest? So you double text, maybe even triple text, and just like that, you've lost the frame. Here's a truth that will change everything. The person who cares less controls the relationship. This doesn't mean you should be cold or distant. It means you should be emotionally grounded. The moment she realizes that her actions don't dictate your emotions, she starts seeing you differently. Psychology backs this up. Studies show that people are drawn to those who are emotionally stable, those who don't react impulsively. Why? Because emotional control signals strength, and strength is attractive. Seneca, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." Most of the things we worry about never actually happen. But when you let those fears dictate your actions, you become weak, and weakness is repelling. Next time you feel the urge to overreact, pause. Take a breath. Ask yourself, if I were a high-value man, how would I respond? Because the moment you start thinking this way, you'll notice something incredible. Her energy shifts. She starts chasing. She starts wondering why you're not fazed. And that's when the fear of losing you becomes real. Be honest. Have you been making this mistake? Drop a comment below. Number 3, the power of walking away. Most men don't realize this, but the strongest negotiating position in any relationship is simple: the ability to walk away. Think about it. Who holds more power? The person desperately clinging to the relationship, or the one who knows they'll be perfectly fine with or without it? Here's a story. Mark had been dating Sarah for a year. At first, she was deeply invested, always reaching out, always trying to impress him. But over time, Mark started slipping into the same trap most guys do. He became too available, too predictable, too afraid to upset her, and then it happened. Sarah started losing attraction. She canceled plans, took longer to reply, and seemed distant. Mark panicked. He tried harder, became even more accommodating, thinking it would win her back. But every time he gave more, she pulled away further. What Mark didn't realize was that he had lost his most powerful asset, his willingness to walk away. Now let's flip the script. Imagine if, instead of chasing, Mark had recognized his worth. What if, instead of fearing her loss, he had detached from the outcome? What if he had clearly communicated his expectations, and if they weren't met, he simply moved on? This is where Stoicism comes into play. One of the most powerful Stoic principles is amor fati, love of fate. It means embracing whatever happens without resistance. If she pulls away, accept it. If she loses interest, let her go. Because the moment you show that you're unshaken by loss, you become irreplaceable. Seneca once said, "He who is brave is free, and nothing is braver than a man who refuses to cling to something that no longer serves him." Here's your challenge. Next time she tests you, instead of reacting emotionally, pause. Ask yourself, am I acting out of fear or strength? If the answer is fear, step back. Reclaim your control, because the man who can walk away is the man she's afraid to lose. Comment power shift if you're ready to embrace this mindset. Number 4, the art of mystery. Let me ask you a question. Who's more intriguing? The guy who lays all his cards on the table, constantly updating her on his thoughts, plans, and feelings? Or the man who moves with quiet confidence, revealing just enough to keep her guessing? Mystery is magnetic. Here's why. Our brains are wired to crave uncertainty. Studies in psychology show that when something is unpredictable, it triggers more dopamine, the same chemical responsible for addiction. This is why people chase the unknown more than what's easily available. But here's the mistake most men make. They over-explain. They rush to reassure, to prove themselves. They think being an open book builds connection, but in reality, it kills attraction. Now let's take an example from history. Julius Caesar, one of the most powerful leaders of all time, was known for his strategic silence. He never revealed his plans prematurely. His enemies and even his allies were always left wondering what his next move would be. And that's exactly what gave him power. The same applies to relationships. When you're slightly unpredictable, when she doesn't always know what you're thinking or doing, it creates tension, and tension builds attraction. So how do you apply this? Stop oversharing. Instead of texting her every detail about your day, leave some things unsaid. Instead of always being the first to reach out, let her wonder. Instead of immediately answering her questions, sometimes respond with, "Why do you ask?" Because when a woman starts wondering about you, thinking about you, imagining what you're up to, that's when she starts fearing losing you. Try this. For the next week, say 20% less than you usually do. Cut back on unnecessary explanations. Let your actions speak for themselves. Watch how it shifts the dynamic. Drop a mystery wins in the comments if you're ready to try this. Number 5, the frame control principle. Control the frame, and you control the relationship. What does this mean? It means whoever sets the emotional tone defines the reality of the interaction. Most men let women control the frame without even realizing it. They adjust their behavior based on her mood. If she's distant, they panic and chase. If she's cold, they overcompensate with affection. They're constantly reacting instead of leading. And here's what they don't understand. The moment you start chasing her emotional state, you lose your power. Let's look at a real-world example. Imagine two men in a room. One is calm, composed, and unshaken. The other is fidgeting, reacting to every small thing. Who holds the power? Who commands respect? It's always the man who controls the frame. Now here's how this applies to your relationships. If she's pulling away, you don't panic. You hold your ground. If she tests you with attitude or challenges, you don't get defensive. You smile and stay centered. If she tries to make you jealous, you remain unfazed because you know your worth. This is exactly what Marcus Aurelius meant when he said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. Women are naturally drawn to men who dictate the emotional climate. When you refuse to be thrown off by her tests, she starts respecting you more. She realizes that nothing she does can shake you. And that's when she starts fearing losing you. Here's your challenge. For the next 5 interactions, practice frame control. If she's cold, remain warm but detached. If she's testing you, respond playfully without taking it personally. If she's distant, focus on your own world rather than trying to pull her back. Drop a frame wins in the comments if you're ready to master this. Number 6, the abundance mindset shift. Nothing triggers the fear of loss more than knowing someone has options. Think about it. Why do people suddenly want something when others desire it? Because social proof is real. If others see value in something, we automatically assign it more worth. Now the mistake most men make? They operate from scarcity. They act as if she's their only option. They revolve their lives around her, making her the center of their universe. But here's the brutal truth. When a woman senses that you have no other options, she stops fearing losing you. Let's flip the script. Imagine you're a man who is constantly improving, mentally, physically, financially. You have goals, passions, and a strong social circle. Women notice you. People respect you. You exude confidence, not because you're faking it, but because you know you can walk away at any time and attract someone else. That's the abundance mindset. Seneca once said, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it." Most men waste time obsessing over one woman instead of becoming the kind of man who naturally attracts many. Here's how you apply this. Start living as if you have unlimited options. Stop centering your life around one person. Build a powerful network. Focus on self-improvement. When she senses that you are in demand, that other people, women and men, value you, she will instinctively fear losing you. Want proof? Look at high-status men. They never beg for attention. They don't chase. Women chase them. Your challenge. For the next 30 days, shift your focus from her to your own growth. Hit the gym. Build your finances. Expand your social circle. Make yourself the prize. Watch how differently people, especially women, start treating you. If you're ready to embrace the abundance mindset, drop a level up in the comments. So let's recap. If you want to trigger her fear of losing you, you must become a man she knows she can't replace. Not through manipulation, not through games, but by embodying strength, self-respect, and purpose. Master distance, because what is scarce is valuable. Control your emotions, because emotional stability is power. Be willing to walk away, because desperation kills attraction. Embrace mystery, because the unknown keeps people addicted. Hold the frame, because the leader always dictates the dynamic. Live in abundance, because nothing is more attractive than a man with options. And here's the truth. When you become this man, you won't even need to make her fear losing you. She will feel it instinctively. So now the question is, are you ready to step into your power? If you got value from this, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because this is just the beginning. Until next time, stay strong, stay focused, and never lose your frame.